All right. Hopefully my audio is working here. In the era of a 9/11, Apple's first iPod, and the publishing of Twilight, 2000s brought a new generation of kids that were born too late to enjoy the 90s, but just early enough that our parents didn't raise us by throwing iPads at us. This is the second episode of the Only 2000s Kids Remember podcast, where we talk about memories that we had growing up in the early 2000s and things that we remember from a generally less stressful time. In this episode, we pick right back off from where we left off in the first episode. And speaking of last episode, how do you think that went? I'm back here with my man Brady. Welcome back. How do you think it went?
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Super stoked to be back. I honestly, like last episode, I had such a great time. Like, if you remember, I was kind of saying how, like, as we were kind of planning for it, I didn't have exact memories, but as I started talking about it, more and more came out, and I'm hoping we can do that again today. So I'm pretty hyped. I think last one went amazingly. We got some nice feedback on it, and
it's true.
See what comes out today, huh?
I clipped it a couple times and put it on the TikTok, and
yeah, those were popular too, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to be as popular as, like, you know, some influencers, but
Right.
I'm going to call it.
Right?
I'm going to call it micro influencing. We got over 1,000 views per TikTok on each clip that we posted to there. So on the agenda today, we have second grade memories through about fifth grade. We got some things that are popular, things that we may have forgot about, things like just things that we'll be talking about in the future. We've got water arcade game things. We've got the Robo Sapien. We've got Bakugan, Magic 8 Balls, the Cranium games. I
already know what you're talking about.
There's way better things. I just spat out some things that are on the agenda for today. So do you wanna say anything before we get going right into the agenda?
I want to have you start off because if we're starting with like second grade, I kind of went over my second grade last time just because I don't remember as much. So if you want to like start on yours and just kind of go from there, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. So basically, I only have a couple things because, like, as you said, you already talked about it last time, and I don't want to dwell too much on things that we've already talked about. So I do have to say that for second grade was the first grade that I was in a new school. They had just built a new elementary school in my town, and I had moved to that school. And turns out that my neighbor was actually my teacher. And we had primary school was like when you had one teacher that like taught English, math, science, reading, language arts. It was all in thing. But this was the first time that we had Spanish. So we had a Spanish teacher come in, but she had a cart and she would travel to all the different rooms, right? So she came in with her cart, and the cart had like an easel with a dry erase board on it, and she would like teach us like the colors and numbers and basic Spanish vocabulary words. But other than that, it was just the same as first grade, but just with little bit harder topics, and my neighbor was my teacher.
How was that? What was that experience like? Like having someone as a...
It was fine.
Did they like favor you over other students or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
If anything, they liked other students more than me.
Okay. No, that checks out though.
Yeah. So what do you got going on for third grade, if you can remember anything?
So third grade, it's kind of just like an extension of second grade. If I remember correctly, I think it was at that same school. So that San Ramon Elementary in California.
Right.
Yeah, it was just kind of more of that. Like, I remember everything outside of school, but not really like what I did during school. And it was a different teacher. I don't exactly remember who. But I remember there was still that group of us that were still walking to school, I feel like that's a memory that is one of my best just at that time as well. That sense of freedom as little kids, just because it was like a safe neighborhood, and we
Right.
could just waddle about and not care about anyone like doing anything to us. But yeah, no, I don't know. My third grade is kind of blurry. I don't. It seems like a filler grade, if you will.
A filler grade, yeah,
Filler
just
grade for my
before,
episode.
yeah,
You know?
right, yeah. So, we had I don't know if your state had this, but we had standardized tests.
Yes.
And here they were called SOL tests, standards of learning. And in primary school, all of the teachers would teach to the tests. And I specifically remember the reading SOL tests. And they would give us each a little, like a very small book. And we'd have to read it and kind of like comprehend what was going on, but we couldn't
Dude.
read it again. You know what I mean?
I remember this. Yes. No, I remember this.
And then, of course, we had the math SOL and the science SOL and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I forgot about those. And then I feel like at a point they like banned them from my state, or they got rid of them,
Yeah.
and everyone was super hype. I don't remember what happened with that, but I know they went away for some reason or another.
Did you take, like, when you were in primary school, like third grade, did you go to the art classroom and go to the computer lab classroom and go to the library and like all those things?
What do you mean? Just like on the daily, or just you mean for the SOLs?
No, not for the SOLs, but like one of your units during the day or during the week was art, and
yeah,
you would travel to
absolutely,
the
yeah,
art
no.
room. Yeah.
We had a I think we had a trailer that was like separate, and we went into there for the art. or something like that.
Right. Did you? So what kind of? I remember specifically doing clay in our class, and like that was the hype day. Clay, and we got to like paint the clay and like put it in the what do they call it? I don't remember what the that's the one, the kiln. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally remember doing stuff like that. Like we used to make like pots and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
take home all this like junk pottery we made.
I swear my mom probably has some of it still up there, up in the.
My mom has some of mine. I know it. I remember some of it there.
Guaranteed.
And she won't get rid of it. Don't know why.
You know, I remember another thing specifically that every year this happened, but every year the teachers would say, like if you were in third grade, they would say, "Oh, the fourth grade teachers aren't going to let this slide." Or if you're in fourth grade, they would say, "Oh, the fifth grade teachers aren't going to let this slide," and then continued all the way up, past secondary school, on to tertiary school, high school, and they'd be like, "Oh, in college, you're not gonna, they're not going to let this slide," and then you get to the college classroom, and it's like, "What's up, guys? My name's Mike. I brought candy if y'all want it."
Pay attention if you want to. You don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like we were like doing a coloring book or whatever in second or third grade. Don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was second grade. And she's like looking at us, and we had to turn it in for a grade, if you can imagine. And she's like, "I'm gonna be harsh on you guys because the third grade teachers aren't gonna let this slide to coloring outside the lines."
Wow. How could they?
Did you have like, when you were in these grades, did you have like certain days where there would be like an activity for the whole day, like a field day or
yes
whatever? Like,
yes, dude, field days.
we had like a history day where war reenactor groups would come in and like teach us about the revolution or the Civil War or whatever, but they would do it by like having us go like this. This kind of sounds morbid for primary school, but they would like reenact the battles and like have us like go through like the processes of different things, and they would have like little markets in tents, and they would have like feather quill pens and and like fur
Dude, that's sick.
hats and stuff. And they would like teach us the history behind everything that they were like selling in the markets. It was actually really fun.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
We also
Did
had
you actually like learn from it, or did
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
more for the fun?
Everything was about, you know, it's school, so you know most of the stuff is book fair, Scholastic Book Fair. Did you have those?
Dude, oh my god. I think that was like the beginning of like being cool. So depending on what you got, depending on how much money your mom gave you to spend, it would judge how cool you are for the rest of the year.
Yeah, right?
So if you got like $20 and you could get like this stupid eraser cap and like nothing, keep in mind, none of it was like a book. Like it was all just like junk toys.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember if you got like certain things, you would be viewed as like a king, and then everyone else would kind of.
I remember that they would give us
not.
the Scholastic Book Fair magazines, and I remember circling like the books and the different things that I wanted, and I would bring it home. And my parents were always like, "That is a complete waste of money."
Yeah, no, 9 times out of 10, you know, I mean, my parents are pretty generous, so I think they always gave me something. But I never spent it on a book. I mean, they had like. They had the light up finger lasers, dude. Like, come on.
Oh, true. The light up.
Spent on a book.
True. No, we had so yes, we had the field day, we had the history day, we had the book fair, but we also had a day called barter day, and this would be like all the students would like craft some things like one for everybody, or you know. If you wanted to be exclusive, you wouldn't do one for everybody, and then you would bring what you made into school that day, and you would trade it for what other people have made. And
really,
I remember making these keychains that had our school mascot on it, and I traded them around, and I got like homemade cookies or like, you know, whatever. And
what?
There was one kid
sick.
who had made 2 duct tape wallets.
Oh my god.
And everyone was crowded around this kid because he's like super cool for having these homemade like wallets with duct tape. And they were good too.
Yep.
But I remember I like had maybe 4 or 5 things that I wanted to trade this guy for. And it was between me and Josh for getting this duct tape wallet. And he gave it to me. And I was
damn. So you're the cool one now.
Yeah,
right?
I had the duct tape wallet. I was cool for one day.
Heck yeah, man.
And
I remember.
Yeah.
I kind of remember, just side note, like duct tape stuff. Like
Yeah.
There's a phase of like, I don't know when it was. I guess whatever time that was. People were making stuff out of duct tape. Like there was like the wallets, but then there was also, remember how they used to like, make like flowers on like the top of pencils with duct tape?
Oh yeah. You're right.
Like there's some like phase of just making like duct tape stuff. I don't know why, but it was random.
I also want to while we're on the topic of primary school, early primary school, let me just look something up really quickly.
Of course, go for it.
See if I can find them.
I wonder what you're cooking up here.
No, wait a minute. Shoot. Okay. All right, got it. So let's see if my screen record worked. So I'm gonna switch over to, and it did work. Okay, so we used to have these on Valentine's Day. We would go and before Valentine's Day, we would write every classmate's name on like these little things, and we would like tape them to a lollipop or something. Yeah. And we would hand them out. And if you had, oh, this is perfect. They looked exactly like this, like superheroes or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is exactly it. I remember getting these. So like you had the little like lollipop or the candy or whatever that was taped to the card. You wrote your name and you wrote who it was for on each of the cards. Mm-hmm. And if you got like a homemade card, you knew that you know, something was up. Like if somebody got you like an actual card and not like, you know, one of these, you knew something was up.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah, I know what you mean, bro.
So yeah, I remember that. Go ahead.
Did you get a homemade one?
I did once in fourth grade.
Dang, bro was rolling.
Oh my god, bro, insane. And then so I remember that. I remember barter day. I remember. Oh, what did you do for music class? I'm interested to hear. Did you have a music class when you were in preschool, primary school?
Yeah, our music class was again in like a separate trailer. I think this is going up to. I think this was 4th or 5th grade. I can't quite remember. But I know there's like a separate trailer again. And the big thing that we would do was the recorder. Everyone in the school.
Yes, I was just going to talk about that. The recorder.
And it was like the most awful sounding instrument they could have given us.
Yeah, it was. And if you like messed up, it squealed, and it was awful.
Horrible. And you could like pull the head off of it and like use it as a whistle. Yeah. But yeah, recorders that was like what we had to learn. And I remember we would just learn these stupid basic like 3-note songs.
Yep.
And that would be our music class.
Did you when we learned a song on recorder, we got a belt.
A belt.
Yeah, like, so like, you know, in karate you get white belt, yellow belt, green belt, blue belt. When we learned a song, we got a white belt. And then when we learned a harder song, we got a yellow belt, and then a green belt, and then a whatever.
Really?
So
dude, that's cool.
We had like a book of songs, and like some of them were some of them were white belt songs, some of them were yellow, and some of them were green. And every time we had music class, we'd all have to line up and in front of the teacher, and one by one play the song of the next belt that we were trying to get. So like the person in front of me would be trying to get a yellow belt or whatever, and then I would be trying to get a blue belt, and then the next person behind me would be trying to get a black belt or whatever. And the songs were like they were different songs, but the same, if that makes sense. Like the song to get a yellow belt was the same, and the song to get a blue belt was the same, but everybody was playing different songs because they were trying to get different belts.
They're trying to level up, man.
They're trying to level up, exactly. I remember that.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything like that, unfortunately, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, until you have to play by yourself in front of the whole line.
Yeah, it's a trial.
Yeah, it's the trial. It's the XP, so it's the level cap trial.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, dude. And with that being said, I don't really remember much else from 3rd grade other than like, so on the last day of school, I'm pretty sure I've told you this before, but when we were in elementary school, on the last day of school, we would all wear white shirts like I'm wearing right now. And
I know where this is going.
And we would all sign each other's shirts with like different colored markers and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that was like, and we also used to do it with yearbooks too. I don't know if you did.
Yeah. Well, I would only get yearbooks on the last year that I was in the school. So 5th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade. But
yeah, no, we would have, I think there was one year we had the shirts because I think it was like you said, the last year we were going to be there. And yeah, I remember, I don't know what happened to that shirt, man. I should have kept that, but like,
I bet my mom has it somewhere.
I know I still have the yearbooks that I've gotten signed. I have all the yearbooks I've ever gotten at my house, at my mom's house. And I remember there was like you wanted to get as many as you can, and like the more you got, the cooler you were.
Yeah, exactly. The more signatures you got was like, I knew all these people. Yeah, right.
But dude, the crazy thing was that's because this was like some of these yearbooks were like when we were starting to get our phones, right? So people would actually leave their like phone number in there.
Yeah.
And that was how you could get like digits. And I remember like as soon like the first time I think I had like an iPod Touch or something, and people were starting to leave their numbers, and I was like so hype, but I couldn't actually do anything with it because I couldn't like call them because I didn't have a phone. I had an iPod.
Right. Yeah, I remember using, because we were not allowed to have electronics growing up, and like, you know, our parents were like the ones that are, you know, they're rotting your brain and all that stuff, and they're probably true, but
Yeah.
you know, when we would see everybody else have like phones and, you know, all this stuff, we would be like, please. No.
Yeah.
Moving on to fourth grade though, I remember this only because my teacher was horrible.
Wow, that's sad.
She was so mean to us as children. She would be like, she would come in one day and just say, "You all are the worst class I've had in 40 years of teaching."
Dude, what?
And we would be like, okay, whatever.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like abuse, dude.
Teacher abuse, on God.
Yeah, straight up.
We had this teacher was like one of those ones that would say, if you raised your hand and said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" she would say no. It's may you use the bathroom. And we're like,
Nah.
she would
Yeah,
harp on us for that. And if we
That's
said
annoying.
Library, it was not library, it was library.
No.
Like, we can't go to the library. We have to go to the library.
She was just a I don't know, uptight person.
Yep.
It sounds like.
Yep.
That sucks, dude. That actually sucks, especially as like a little kid, because that stuff can get to you.
Facts. I remember she saw this one kid eating applesauce with a spoon, but apparently he was eating it wrong. So she took the spoon out of his hand and showed him how to correctly hold a spoon.
You're kidding.
That would not fly today.
No, that's crazy, dude. Oh my god.
Man,
Did she do any of that to you, or is it just like,
no,
other
not to
kids?
me, not
Oh,
to
okay.
me. But she did something to me, because when I was a kid, I used to never pay attention, like, ever.
Oh.
Like, so much so that the teachers would call my parents in and say, "This kid has ADHD." And my parents would
Wow.
say, "No, he doesn't. You're just not challenging him." But what I would do is I would just look out the window, because, you know, as a kid, you would see like the colors on the trees and leaves falling, or if it was raining, that was even better. And I would just stare
Yeah.
out the window. But I would listen. They just didn't see me paying attention. So every once in a while, she would call on me because she thought I wasn't paying attention. And then I would always say the right answer.
Dude, that must have felt awesome.
And
Yeah, in your face.
my parents told me this. Apparently they got called in to the school and and to have to have a parent teacher conference. And the teacher sat them down at the table and said, "Your son does not pay attention in my class. I call on him and he never pays attention." And my dad, he says, "Well, does he get the answers right? And how is he doing?" And she goes, "Well, he always gets the answers right, and he gets 90s on every test." And then my dad said, "Then I see no problem here. We're out of here." And they left. Absolute Chad right there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah. They deserve to say that.
What you
Classic,
got? What you got?
For fourth grade?
Yeah.
So, fourth grade, that was when... So, after California, I moved to Southern Virginia, so like Yorktown area. Have you ever been down there? Like Falls Church area?
Oh, yeah. I went there in high school. We had a lot of competitions there.
Okay, yeah. So, not Yorktown, I meant Falls Church area.
Okay.
So yeah, Falls Church, Fairfax, that whole area. So that was fourth grade. And it was... The school was called Haycock Elementary. And this was like when I can start remembering a lot, because this is like... I think this is like one of the best kind of experiences I had in my childhood. And I guess I could have started with like the neighborhood, right? So we we had a house. It was like a road that was within walking distance to the school.
Okay.
And it was a cul-de-sac. So at the end of the road, there was this path that went into the woods. And that was like a big like park. But then you could jet off to one side and then it would take you down to the school. So again, we could walk to school.
Right.
Which was
okay.
obviously freaking awesome. But yeah, so the whole layout was just really cool. It was very like, if you lived near the school, like you had a good time because most of like the kids lived near the school. And me and my brother met our neighbors across the street, and they were named Andrew and Alexander. And this is like, I would say this is probably like it was kind of like the dynamic of like where I was friends with the younger one, my brother was friends with the older one.
Yeah.
But we also would play together. And that's when they introduced us to things like Nerf Wars.
Yes, sir.
So that is what started in Falls Church, is us being outside. If we weren't at school, we were outside, and it was at the point where we're like, we could go over to their house, they could come over to our house. But they had like all the cool, Nerf guns, like the snipers and like
yes, sir,
all the attachments and stuff. And we would play this game called War and it was basically 2 teams because there was 4 of us, so 2v2. And I don't remember the exact rules. I mean, it didn't really make sense.
Of course, because no games that we made up did make sense.
Right, because we we made them so that we would win, right? So the gist of it, I think, was just like, you would shoot someone and then you'd call out headshot, even if you weren't like aiming at their head, just because we wanted to win again. But I totally remember that. That was like so awesome. It's just being outside and like running around with Nerf guns. Because I think that was like the first. Again, that was kind of the first time we were introduced to like these modern-ish toys. I mean, we already had them, but we didn't have them to the extent that they did.
Okay.
And so they kind of introduced us to what it could be. And yeah, no, I just remember them. They were awesome. I'll probably remember them till the day I die. I mean, I think we've like seen them beyond that. Like I think a few years ago we saw them at an airport or something randomly, which was crazy. The odds of that were next to none. But yeah, that was like my 4th grade. Again, not really in school. It was more out of school, and I'm starting to notice a pattern here because a lot of my memories, or my good memories, are outside of school. So I guess I just don't like school.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. A lot of people, don't remember things that happen from like during school, but outside more fun things happen, and like that's what tends to get remembered, the good things.
Yeah, that's where you're yourself, I think.
So I want to start a new segment on the show. All right, I didn't tell you this beforehand, but we're gonna start a new segment. It is called "Do You Remember This?" And we are gonna. I've pulled up a couple things, and so I'm going to pull them up on stream. Audio only listeners, I will describe them for you as well. And I did see your chat message, but since we are recording a podcast episode, I will not be responding to chat too much. Just reminding you guys in the chat. All right. So new segment. Do you remember this? First thing up is, see if I can get it to work. Yes. All right. These weird arcade things with water in them. They were like these handheld gaming things, but they weren't electronics. They were like capsules full of water that would have like a bunch of plastic balls in them, and you would try to get, or like hoops, and you would try to like get them hooked on different things.
Dude, yeah, these are. Oh my. Dude,
I remember
these
like,
were awesome.
Yeah. I just came across these the other day, and I was like, "There's no way." This unlocked like so many like core memories from me going to my friend's house, they had these things. We would try to beat the other person on getting all the things stacked or the things hooped or the basketball
these were
game.
So awesome. Oh my god. Dude, I don't even remember these. Yeah, they had you press the buttons and jet water and
right. Yeah. Exactly.
My.
So that was the first thing on Do You Remember the New segment. The second thing is this wacky 3D board thing with a bunch of pins.
Yes, and we all try to stick our face in it.
Yep. So I actually had a listener of the last episode message me and say, you got to put the weird 3D pin thing on the show. And here it is.
Oh, shout out that listener.
And I remember going to Target or going to Toys R Us or whatever and just putting my hand on that thing or putting my face on that thing and just leaving it there.
Yeah, you could, like I said, you put your face in that, that's you. You put a picture of yourself out there.
Yeah, like this guy over here.
Yeah, who's that? Who the heck is that?
I don't know. Oh my god. All right, so that's the second thing. I'm gonna do 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do 4 things on the segment, and then I'll bring it back.
Heck yeah.
The next thing, you may not remember this, but this guy. I had a friend who had this thing, and
okay, vaguely, I kind of remember these.
And it would do dances, and it came with this remote control that was looked exactly like a TV remote.
Wait, there was a dinosaur one of these, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Yes.
Okay, I know what you're talking. Yes.
Here it is.
Okay,
it's right here. It's right here on the top left side. I've got it highlighted with my mouse.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, dude, these things were like luxury toys back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
I don't see the dinosaur. Where's the dinosaur one?
And I don't even remember what about them, but I just seeing them right here.
Yep.
I'm just wait, hold up, those were cool, weren't they?
Yeah.
I don't even think I ever used one. I just saw them.
Right? It would be in the store, in the plastic box or whatever.
Yeah.
So the last thing for this segment of Do You Remember This? These rubber poppers that would go flying if you let them sit. You invert them and you sit them on the table and then you would just wait.
You'd run in the opposite direction.
And they would just pop and then would fly up.
Yeah, dude, those things are... I hated those. Those are scary, man. So third grade me, those things were terrifying. You put that on the table. Sometimes they just go in completely opposite directions that you wanted them to.
Oh so yeah, they would go right in your face. No matter where you wanted them to fly, they would always just hit you.
And I'm sure all of us have tried to hold them as they were inside out to keep them like that, and then they pop in your hand.
Yep. And you'd scare yourself.
Yep.
So for the audio only listeners, we just went through 1, 2, 3, 4 nostalgic items that I thought my boy Brady would remember and the listeners would remember. We went through the mini water arcade things. We went through the 3D pin board where you would put your hand in this box where there would be a bunch of pins and your handprint would be left on the pins. This black and white robot called Robo Sapien that had a remote that looked like a TV remote, and it would do dances and move and all that kind of things. And the last thing we talked about in the segment is these rubber popper things where they looked like half spheres, spheres that were cut in half. And if you pushed your thumb onto the sphere and inverted it, it would become a popper, and you would set it down on the table. And when it sprung out, it would just launch itself up. So that's it for the segment of Do You Remember This?
Dude, that was awesome. Thank you for doing that. That was so cool. I remember all of them. So I think I won.
Yeah.
What's my prize?
Bro won. Gold star.
Heck yeah, dude.
Man, so you remember a couple of stories that I've told you from 5th grade, notably the horse riding.
The horse incident.
Yeah. Should I just? I feel like I should just start with that, to be honest. So
go for it, dude. They gotta know.
I used to ride horses in 5th grade. I don't remember why I got into it, but I I don't know. I just did. And so like I took care of the horse, cleaned it, brushed it, all that sort of stuff, and rode it, and I had lessons and all that. So not only did I have lessons, but I wouldn't really go to because they would come here, but shows. And I did, I think they call it Eastern riding with a saddle and
Eastern riding.
Or I don't remember what it's called, but it's not Western. It's not bareback. It's saddled, and I would do jumps. And
really?
Yeah, I would do jumps. And so my horse was kind of old, and I was making it do these 4-foot plus jumps.
Is that tall for an old horse or something?
English, thank you, chat. English is the word I'm looking for. That is correct. English riding. So where was I going with this? Yes, 4-foot plus jumps. I maybe 4.5, 5-foot jump I was attempting here, and it was crazy jump. I'm all for it because it's fun. It's a blast. My horse is going full speed at this jump, and it takes off. It jumps, and it trips on the jump.
Oh my
and
God.
It rolls over, and I go flying. So if you've ever gotten road rash from like falling off a bike, like on your knee, or falling off of rollerblades or whatever, or skateboards, it was like that because the area where I was riding was all gravel, except it was on my face, the left side of my face,
Dude.
and I got dragged across the gravel. And when I landed, like when I first landed, my head and my back heel touched backwards. So like you can bend over, this way and touch your toes with your hands. My head went backwards and touched the back of my heel that way. So I made a backwards C instead of a...
How did you not die? How am I talking to you
It's
right
still
now?
a surprise to me as well. And then, of course, when I sprung back, my face got dragged against the gravel and all that.
Oh my...
So
dude.
I was laying there on the ground. I remember how it felt. It was so like it was burning. The side of my face was just
I imagine,
burning.
dude. That's horrible.
And I heard somebody yelling at me from the outside of the ring to not get up. And I was like, all right, I'll just stay here then. I remember the ambulance coming, and the guys that picked me up and put me in the ambulance duct taped me to the board. Because
Stuck you to the board.
they thought I had like broken my back or paralyzed or something, right? So they had duct taped me to the board, put me in the ambulance, and we are out of here. And I have to say, for someone that just possibly broke their back, that ambulance ride was the worst ride ever. There must have been so many potholes on that road. It was crazy. I remember the ride and thinking, why does this not have air suspension? Anyways, I go to the hospital, right? And of course it takes 8 hours, 10 hours, like it does every single time.
Yeah.
They get your payment info, then you wait 2 hours, and then they get your insurance info, then you wait 2 hours, then you get your
As you're
payment info
silently dying,
again.
Yeah.
So we did the x-rays, the scans, everything, and and nothing is wrong. I'm just half the skin is ripped off my face. That's it. So I'm home. It's like 10:30, 11 p.m. and I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping now. I get up and I have to go to school the next day. So
Oh no.
I come in late, obviously, because my parents would at least let me sleep in. But
Heyo.
I came into school. It was during lunch. So the teacher that I had in 5th grade was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" So my parents, explained
as I would
everything.
imagine. Yeah.
And yeah, because I came in looking like, Anakin before he got turned to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So I come in, I'm sitting, I'm the only one in the classroom because it's lunch. And so the people start coming in, the kids, they start coming in, and every single one of them just like freaked out. As you kind of should,
horrible.
Because half my skin on my face was torn off. And it just so happens that I, of course, this is 5th grade, so it's not serious, but my crush sat right next to me.
Ooh.
And luckily, she sat on the good side, on the right side, not the left side.
Good side.
but anyways, so I would every time I looked at people with my left side, they always like cringed or like, had that visceral like reaction.
Yeah.
And that's how I earned the nickname Two-Face in 5th grade. Yeah.
I was just about to say, dude, you straight up had a two-face coming.
Yep.
I don't know it's that bad. I know you got like messed up from that. That's crazy, man. But
it's true.
Might I add, I'm glad you're here and able to make this with me today. So shout out, Brett.
Shout out me. What can I say? for surviving. It's luck, honestly. I was told that the horse landed about 4 inches away from me, so I could have also got smashed by a horse.
What?
What? Yeah. So, I mean, other than that,
that's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Like that.
You know what I look like now. I'd say it healed up pretty well.
I was gonna say you don't have any. I could never tell. You don't.
I have
a dent in your head.
A very small scar on my right elbow from it, but that's it.
Isn't it kind of crazy how as kids we get like injured so much?
Yeah.
But we come out fine. Well,
right?
I don't know if we'd say we come out fine, but
I sprained my ankle on a trampoline, and it was just like, he's fine.
Yeah, he'll walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off, exactly. Walk off a sprained ankle.
There, yeah.
But besides for that, do you remember having DARE at your school? DARE to resist drugs and violence.
Yes, yeah.
So
I do.
Where the cops would come in and like talk about, this is weed. Do not do weed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was the whole thing.
Yeah. So at our school, we had to write an essay about, how we wouldn't do drugs or whatever. I don't remember what the essay was on. It was a DARE essay, and it was entered in. It really wasn't effective. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat. Anyways, so I had to write this essay, and it went like into some kind of competition. Like whoever could write the best essay about not doing drugs or whatever. And somehow mine won. I don't know how, but it did. And I had to read it in front of all the students and all the students' parents in the gym/auditorium of the primary school.
So I think we're gonna have to hear why this won. What makes a good DARE essay? How do you write an essay that's so good about not doing drugs?
I pretty much said that, man, this is taking me way back, but I did talk about riding horses, and I also talked about things that I enjoy doing. And I remember saying that if I had developed an addiction or a reliance on controlled substances, that I would not be able to do the things that I enjoy. And I think maybe that did it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
It was crazy. Did you have when you were in school, did you have like a school news or a school announcements or like that was done by the students?
They would pick like 2 people every week to go to the front office and make announcements.
Yep.
Yeah, we had that.
So this grade, 4th and 5th grade, was when the smart boards were just coming out. You know what I mean?
My God,
the Promethean boards. You remember those?
Yes, dude. Oh my God, yes.
With the pens, and the teachers weren't like used to it, so they would put Expo marker on the.
Remember. I don't know if yours did this, but you'd have to calibrate the pen.
Yes.
And you have to.
Yes.
They would
Oh
get
my god.
students to go
With the
up to board.
corners. The corners.
Yeah, like yes, dude. Oh my god, that was hype. If you got picked, dude, that was the best day.
Oh yes, I remember
I forgot
that.
about this.
So yeah, we had the Promethean boards, and so instead of doing the news over the announcements, we would do it live video with the boards. So I
Yeah.
remember being, because in 5th grade you would be the ones that would get picked. See if I can get my camera to refocus here. Fantastic. So I remember doing the news a couple times, or the school news, and we had this giant stuffed crocodile that we would shake around at the end like an outro. And because our school mascot was a croc.
Oh, so it was like a visual thing, like a video. They videoed it.
Yes, it was visual. So as an outro, we would the 4 of us would grab onto this giant crocodile and just shake it around.
Okay.
And I remember on the last day of 5th grade, I was picked to be the announcement thing. And I had a sidebar with all the people before the show was live. And I was like, guys, we should totally do. It's our last year. I mean, it's our last day for the last year. When we do the outro, we should just throw the table, like knock the table over.
Of course you would say that.
And they were like, oh, absolutely, we're doing that. I'm like, all right, cool. So the outro rolled. We threw the croc up and pushed the table over.
Did you get in trouble?
No, we didn't.
What?
They were just like, why'd you do that? And we were like, it's the last day. They're like, oh, fair enough.
What are you gonna do?
Right?
Yeah. Dang, look at you, a trendsetter, huh?
Yeah, right.
That's totally something you do today, dude. Like you're so
Oh
like.
my
gung-ho.
god.
It's like,
Wow.
Oh my god. What if we did this?
Oh my god. So I've got a couple things listed. Actually, before I move on with this, 4th and 5th grade, you got anything? Remember,
Yes.
like playing? Go ahead, take it away. Take it
I
away.
have a big one. Okay, so kind of 180ing back to your injury. I have my own injury.
Oh, here we go.
And I don't know if you ever knew this. So this is like unreleased lore.
Oh,
if you will.
unreleased lore. All right, I'm digging it.
So yeah, strap in. So, let's see. I'm gonna say it was 4th grade.
Okay.
So 4th grade. We had, dude, what was it called? It was called Baja Fresh. Yeah, I think it's still around. It's like a restaurant.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it? I don't know. They might be out of business now. I don't know. But yeah, so you know how we have the high chairs, right?
Yeah.
Like the bar stools or whatever. The taller chairs are normal. Whatever they're called. Yeah.
The
So I
stools.
was. Yeah. So we were at Baja Fresh. I think that's what it was. And I don't know what I had. It doesn't matter. But I was in one of those chairs, I think, for probably the first time. And I was like, dang, this is sick. And so I
Bro
start
tries a
waddling-
stool for the first time.
Bro, oh my. I start waddling around because I'm an idiot.
Oh, classic.
And I flip off backwards of the stool. And to little 4th grade me, that's like the equivalent of falling like 80 stories off a building, right?
Yeah. Bro, scared
So
of
I hit
chairs.
my head. I landed on my head.
Oh, yikes.
So I don't really remember much after that, which could say a lot. I know we went to the hospital and I got the big spinny thing around me, the X-ray, MRI, whatever thing.
Yeah.
And they gave me this little stuffed sea otter, I think it was. As a bonus. It was pretty sick. I think it's still at my parents' house.
That's crazy.
But dude, that night when I got back, I remember I was taking a bath. And my vision just slowly faded out and went to black. I kid you not. It just went out.
What?
And my mom was there too. And I was like, Mom, I can't see. And I don't think she really believed me. But I literally could not see. For maybe, I think it was 5 minutes, maybe less. Maybe it was like quick. But after that point, I genuinely think that's why I have to wear glasses today. Because the next grade, I remember is when I had to get my first pair of glasses because I couldn't be within 2 feet of the whiteboard and not see it.
Huh.
And before that, I don't recall of ever having any vision issues, right? And I don't know if I was just like going crazy from just hitting my head or if I actually lost my vision there. But like, I so clearly remember my vision is slowly fading to black and then coming back after a short time.
That must have been scary. That must have been terrifying.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. That was my like crazy injury. And again, I think it's why I wear glasses today. Straight up.
Well,
I think it's a W though, because I look good in glasses. So took one for the team there.
With that being said, back to the new segment. Do you remember this? Here we go. All right.
Anyway,
we got new selection of things here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bunch of stuff. All right.
You're quizzing me again.
Here we go. So, did you have a school store in primary school?
No, that wasn't until Valley was the first school store I ever had.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you're going to remember these, but we had these in my school store in
Are those the smelly crayons? Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. They're the smell pencils. Yeah. He's got it.
Yeah, no. So those would give you headaches. You'd smell them, they'd be cool for like 2 seconds, and then you'd get a headache because they were like loaded with chemicals.
Yeah, they would not fly today. Probably, they would probably not be approved by the FDA.
Probably not.
But if you had a Spencil, you were golden. And I think they were made out of recycled newspapers.
They were. But they would get over everything. Like the smell would get all over your hands, all over your clothes. Like they were potent, dude.
They were. As soon as you popped open that tube,
everyone knew it in the class.
Yep.
Like, oh, here he goes with his damn pencil. His root beer smelling pencil or whatever it was.
Yes, the root beer. Why was the root beer every single time, dude? Oh my god. So we got Spencils for the first thing on Do You Remember This? And yes, you remember it. The next thing is these these Velcro ball catching things where the ball would be soft and fuzzy and you would wear these like paddles on your hand and the ball would stick to them.
So I'd say I remember them, but I never used them.
Right.
So, but like I've seen them and they're a lot of fun.
I mean, it's how I learned to play catch.
Man. That's true.
Those exact ones, the pink and green ones.
The pink and green edition, dude. Heck yeah.
The next thing. Like, go ahead.
That was like introduction to ping pong, kind of, in a way. I don't know.
Introduction to ping pong. True. We had this, the OG educational video gaming console.
I don't know that.
The VTech.
Like the car? Honda VTech? What?
VTech. No, I had this, and you would play like educational games. They wouldn't be like Nintendo games. They would be like, Tarzan needs to get up to the next branch, but he needs to know how far the branch is away. Solve this math. 2 + 2 = what to help Tarzan get to the next branch.
That's like cool math games, but there's actual math.
Yeah. Okay, so I already talked about these. Okay. These. You had to remember this. The multiplication test, dude.
What was like the phrase they used for them? Like it was like a flash test or something. It was like you had to do it within a certain time.
Yep. The times tests.
Yeah.
I remember these. You get
Those things were
the
scary, dude.
timer, and they would be like on the wall or
speed
whatnot.
run.
Yep. Yep. So we went through Smensels, we went through Velcro ball catching things, we went through the VTech gaming console, we went through multiplication tests. Now what about these? The linking cubes.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, those were kind of like the bear things. I think we used those for counting or something.
Yeah. This is a little bit earlier, but
Wait, this reminds me. I don't know if. Do you remember like the little cubes that were also like actually meant for counting? There's like the single cube, but then there's like the tens, and then the 20s, the 50s, and the hundreds.
oh my gosh, why does that sound so familiar? Try to find
like
that and send me the
orange
picture, and I
cubes
can put it on the stream.
Yeah. Let me see if I can figure out where they are.
I remember us just stacking them,
I got them.
and then they would be like, oh wait, yes,
Just look up counting cubes, and they come up.
the base 10, the plastic, the things.
yes.
Yes. I remember those.
I don't know. Those cubes remind me of that.
For
I
those
think they were for
that
the
don't
same
know what
thing.
we're talking about, this is what we're talking about. Oh gosh, it's on my Amazon now. To the ones, the tens, the 50s, the hundreds. And lastly, for this segment is this. The sit and reach test. Do you remember having to do the sit and reach test?
I could never do that good. Yeah. Dude, we did that in 8th grade, didn't we?
Yeah.
I swear we did.
Yeah.
We 100% did. Yeah, no, that I could never get past. I don't know what the good score was. I could never get it.
No. So
I think it was rigged.
for those of people that are listening / watching that are not in the U.S., in the public school system in the U.S., we have physical examinations or physical tests that are done like once a month, would you say?
Yeah, it was probably like once a month, I think.
Where we would have to do the PACER test. Now, you guys probably know the PACER test. Multi-stage aerobic capacity test. It starts, whatever, yada, yada, yada. The copy pasta. And so, for those of you that don't know what it is, each time you heard a beep, you had to run to the end of the gym.
Yeah.
And then you'd hear a beep and you'd have to run back. And then beep and you'd run. And it would every 7 would change the level, right? So if you went back and forth 7 times, it'd be like level 2, start. And then it would do like beep. And then you'd run. And in the meantime, and then you'd run to the other side and then beep. And then they would get faster. The beeps would like get faster.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I remember I've gotten into the hundreds before.
And then the beep that would be at the end of the level would always be a lower pitch than the other beeps. So we're like,
yeah,
end of level 2.
it's scary, bro. It's like a boss fight.
Oh my god. So yeah, I mean that's
Fitness testing, man. Yeah, no.
we had the
that
push-up
was-
test, the sit-up test, the pacer test,
Yeah.
the sit and reach test, and the
I the one where you had to put your arms behind your back and like touch your hands
yes,
together or
the
something.
flexibility thing. Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, I miss those. I mean, I probably don't, but I guess I miss them in a nostalgic way.
We did them together in middle school.
We did. We were there.
And rollerblading.
I couldn't do that. I was so bad at that.
Line dancing?
I couldn't. Dude, I hated dancing. I hated every dance unit ever. It's so dumb.
We'll talk about that on probably
Yeah,
the
that's
next
our future
episode because we got this episode we went through 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th had one new segment repeated twice, and so with that being said, I'm pretty sure we've gone through everything on the agenda for me. You have anything you want to add?
No, I think we went through a lot, and it's already been an hour and 4 minutes. That flew by, dude.
It did.
Like this is so fun. Like I love doing this.
I agree. All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna close out the podcast here. I'm gonna switch my screens, and we will see you guys hopefully in the next stream where we record the next episode. And if you
Hi,
can't make
guys.
that,
Thanks for coming.
if you
Thanks
can't
for
make
listening.
that, we're gonna be posting the whole thing on Spotify, where you can get your podcast stuff there as well. All right. I'm gonna head out. See you guys.
Bye.